We all play the big games like Call of War, Assassin's Creed, or Call of Duty. But here's the secret. The games that hit you hard are the ones that stays with you longer or even change your life. Are those the games built by the small indie teams? Most of the AAA games are cinematically good and have massive budgets. We all play AAA games, but indie games are somewhat different. It feels like something that you are experiencing new. It is raw and it kind of storytelling, and its gameplay and the way you interact with them make you the game is something special. Most people think indie games are boring platformers, or it is not looking great like the $1,000 game you bought on Steam. So it is not what you think it is. I'm gonna list the 10 best indie games that don't just entertain but change the perspective of how you see indie games and even your life. The first game we're gonna see about is Journey. Journey is a story without a single word of dialogue, which uses only visual and environmental storytelling, and it explores more about reincarnation, spiritual transcendence, and hero's journey. And the game also has a multiplayer mode, allows you to encounter other players anonymously. And its breathtaking visuals and Austin Wintory's Grammy-nominated soundtrack and profound emotional resonance create an experience that stays with the players long after completion. The second game we are saying about is Celeste. Celeste is a platformer game. The story follows Madeline, a young woman with anxiety and depression, who decides to climb the mysterious Celeste mountain to prove something to herself. The entire game serves as a metaphor for overcoming depression and anxiety. This game will teach you how to importance is self-acceptance and perseverance toward failure, and provide more authentic representation of mental illness in gaming. And why should we play the game? Because the game offers the hope and practical wisdom about dealing with mental health struggles. The third game is Stardew Valley. I think most of the people will heard about this game or even played the game. The game is created entirely by one developer. Stardew Valley demonstrates how passion projects can create deeply meaningful experiences. The game offers a therapeutic escape of modern stress while encouraging players to value community, relationship, and success. It's a open-ended gameplay, allow players to find their own path to fulfillment, whether to farming, relationship, exploration, and creative expressions. Undertale takes place in underground, where monsters were banished after losing a war against humans. The story centers on Azrael, the prince of monsters, and Kara, a human child who fell into underground and adopted by the royal family. And the core theme explores how violence beats violence and how breaking these cycles require tremendous courage and compassion and determination and hope. Undertale revolutionized how games can handle player choice and model agency. Its innovative combat system, where you can choose to spare rather than fight enemies, challenging gaming conventions and player expectations. In Outer Worlds, you will play as a Earthian, a space explorer trapped in a 22-minute time loop caused by a supernova. So Outer Worlds comforts players with inevitability of death and the end of the universe. The game suggests that what matters isn't avoiding death, but how we spend our time and what we choose to explore and understand. Outer Wilds offers one of the gaming's most unique experiences, where knowledge itself is the only permanent progression. The game creates genuine wonder while addressing philosophical questions about existence, purpose, and legacy. Gris, a visual story told grief. Gris tells the story of a young woman who has lost her voice and fallen into a colorless world. And throughout the game, Gris offers a wordless artistic exploration of difficult emotions through stunning hand-drawn animation and haunting musical score. The game serves as a form of interactive art therapy, allowing players to work toward their own experience with loss while experiencing one of the most visually beautiful games ever created. Firewatch. The story follows with Henry, who becomes a fire lookout in the swamping wilderness as an escape from his wife Julia's dementia. He develops a close relationship with Delilah and another fire lookout toward radio conversations. Henry and Delilah's connection demonstrate how intimate relationship can form without physical presence. And the game wilderness settings emphasizes psychological isolation and the human need for connection. Unlike many games, Firewatch doesn't offer easy answer. It asks players to grapple with difficult questions about commitment and what we owe to people we love. You play as Stella, who has taken over Sharon's role as a freeman of death. You care for spirits on your boat, helping them to complete unfinished business before guiding them to the afterlife. The game gamifies the act of caring for others. You cook your favorite meals, build homes, and fulfill requests not for mechanical rewards, but because you genuinely care about its characters. The core challenge isn't keeping spirits alive, but learning when to let them go. Paper Please. It's the kind of a unique game. You work as an immigration inspector at a border of Astacosa. I don't know if I spelled it correctly. At a fictional country. Your job involves checking documents, following increasingly complex rules, and making decisions about who can enter the country. Paper Please offers a unique perspective on moral philosophy and political operations. The game creates genuine ethical dilemmas without easy answers, forcing players to confront their own moral boundaries. It serves as both entertainment and education about dangers of totalitarianism and importance of individual moral courage. Finally, one of my favorite games, Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight, the Pale King created a kingdom called Hollow Nest, but angered the forgotten goddess who unleashed an infection turning bugs into mindless zombies. To stop this plague, the Pale King created thousands of void-born children as vessels, choosing the Hollow Knight. Created by just 3 developers, it demonstrates the passionate vision can create gaming masterpieces. Indomitable storytelling, the entire narration unfolds the visual design and atmosphere without exporting dumps, rewarding careful observations. And it is one of the most popular games ever created. Indie games are hot. They prove that you don't need $200 million to move to people. So the next time you're about to pick a AAA blockbuster, maybe take a look at indie instead. It might change your life. So drop in the comments of which indie game that stayed with you for a longer time. And if you want more videos exploring these indie games, hit the subscribe button. And thank you for watching this video.